James K. Polk was a born leader. If anything, put it into the minds of the people that there was such a thing as manifest destiny. It is our manifest destiny to overspread and to possess the whole of the continent which Providence has given us for the development of the great experiment of liberty. In 1845, these words were written by John O'Sullivan, a Democrat leader and editor of the New York newspaper, The Morning Post.
Twice the United States tried to purchase the northern part of Mexico. Once for $5 million, the second for $15. Both times Mexico declined the offer. In the 1820s through the 1830s, Mexico, newly independent from Spain, needed settlers in the underpopulated northern parts of the country. An invitation was issued for people who would take an oath of allegiance to Mexico and convert to Catholicism, the state religion. Thousands of Americans took up the offer and moved, often with slaves, to the Mexican province of Texas. Soon, however, many of the Mexicans, the Texians, were unhappy with the way the government of Mexico tried to run the province.
In 1835, Texas revolted, and after several bloody battles, the Mexican president, Santa Anna, was forced to sign the Treaty of Velasco in 1836. This treaty gave Texas its independence, but many Mexicans refused to accept the legality of this document.
The Republic of Texas and Mexico continued to engage in border fights, and many people in the United States openly sympathized with the U.S.-born Texans in this conflict. As a result of the savage frontier fighting, the American public developed a very negative stereotype against the Mexican people and government. Partly due to the continued hostilities with Mexico, Texas decided to join with the United States on July 4, 1845. The annexation gained approval from the U.S. Congress. After just about a few too many border conflicts, the United States of America and Mexico openly agreed on war on April 25, 1846. In August of 1846, Monterey, California, along with the city of Los Angeles, was taken by the U.S. Navy. Three standoffs held between the Mexican military and the U.S. military created such a conflict, and so many people lost their lives that the U.S. and Mexico agreed on a 3-day standoff that allowed their soldiers to recuperate. After winning battle after battle, the United States military invades Mexico City. Within 4 months, they take complete control, and President Santa Anna resigns. Mexico is without leadership.
On February 2nd, 1848, the Treaty of Hidalgo was signed. This entitled the United States to the northern parts of Mexico. With the acceptance of $15 million for the land, all of Mexico's debts to the United States were freed.
Amongst those who disapproved of the war were such figures such as Henry David Thoreau. He argued that people should not permit governments to overrule or atrophy their consciences, and that people have a duty to avoid allowing such acquiescence to enable the government to make them the agents of injustice. Thoreau was very motivated in the Popeyes discussed with the slavery in the Mexican-American War. He was a lead abolitionist and was the supporter of John Brown, another leading abolitionist. At the time, a soldier who fought in the Mexican-American War by the name of Ulysses E. Grant, who would later become President of the United States of America, had this to say about the war. Generally, the officers of the army were indifferent whether the annexation was consummated or not, but not so all of them. For myself, I was bitterly opposed to the measure, and to this day regard the war, which resulted, as one of the most unjust ever waged by a stronger against a weaker nation. It was an instance of a republic following the bad example of European monarchies, in not considering justice and the desire to acquire additional territory. Grant also expressed the view that the war against Mexico had brought punishment on the United States in the form of the American Civil War. The Southern Rebellion was largely the outgrowth of the Mexican War. Nations, like individuals, are punished for their transgressions. We got our punishment in the most sanguinary and expensive war of the modern times. The repercussions of this so-called manifest destiny were great. It brought on the Civil War. It gave a new face, a new meaning to the United States of America, but not without costing the lives of hundreds of thousands of men. This is the United States of America.
All the good times have passed and gone.